Hi, I'm Remington, welcome. So I've noticed that there's two different kinds of reading that I've been doing recently. There's the more academic reading, that is the nonfiction, more dense kind of reading that I've been doing. And then there's also just the enjoyment or like personal enrichment kind of reading, which recently has been a graphic novel that I've been stretching over the past month. And that was really lovely. I'm not going to talk about the graphic novel specifically here because I'm going to talk about it next week in my month wrap-up, because I did end up reading enough this month that I feel like a actual wrap-up is warranted. But anyway, I've noticed that in the nonfiction reading, like with the purpose of knowledge extraction, I'm trying to extract as much knowledge as possible in as short of a time frame as possible, because that's like I'm trying to read a lot and just get a lot of knowledge from that to apply it to the different writings and research that I'm doing. But there's an inherent problem with that when you're trying to just plow through as much as possible in as short of a time as possible. You're going to forget a lot of what you read, and you're going to lose a lot of that nuance. So I've kind of developed a few systems to help me combat that while not just like completely slowing down myself too much. I write notes as I read along, so like anytime I find something that I think is interesting or I might want to come back to, I make a reference to the page number and then just jot the note down. And then also, when I finish the book, I've started doing like mini essays on the more academic books that I'm reading, just basically summing up in around 1,000 words what the book is and what I got from it, just so if I need to quickly look back, I can just get that knowledge really quick. And then also if I need something deeper, I can look into the notes if I need something specific. And also, of course, just like revisiting that knowledge, turning it over again in my brain right after I read it, that is just another way to like solidify it so it stays around a little bit longer. So those are a couple systems that have helped me to maintain the speed while still maintaining the knowledge. It is obviously a little bit slower than if I weren't doing those things, but I think that I'm much better off for doing that. So for the other kind of reading, the fiction mostly, and some nonfiction, but mostly fiction, for that, like I feel the desire to just like plow through it as quickly as possible creeping in all the time. And I have to stop myself and like, this is not the goal here. The goal here is not to just get through as many books as possible. The goal here is to actually enjoy the books that I'm reading and to get something out of them personally, you know? And so with the graphic novel that I was reading over the past month, I really stretched it out. Like I only read a chapter, maybe two every night. And it wasn't even every night, it was like every other night. And I really feel like that helped me enjoy it so much more. I started reading a little bit faster towards the end, both because I was just like interested to see how it ended, as well as like kind of a little done with it, because although I really did enjoy it overall, the ending is a little bit less fleshed out than the rest of the book, let's just say. But just digesting it in little chunks like that was really nice, and not something that I've done in a long time with the book. And I think I'm going to start doing that a little bit more. This is not a hot take at all, of course. You know, I know a lot of people make videos on BookTube about basically how you just need to slow down and take your time, and getting through a certain number is not the goal. But of course, even though I know that, it still creeps into my mind sometimes, and it needs to be something that I'm aware about and taking precautions against if I really want to be getting the most out of my reading. And it might mean that I'm not able to finish all the books that I want to finish anytime soon, because just with the books that I own that I haven't read, it's probably going to be a good 7 years before I read every single one of them. But that's okay, because I will read most of them. I'll commit to 90% of the books that I have. 10% I'm okay with like just DNFing or deciding that I don't want to read them. But for the most part, I'm going to be reading all the books that I have eventually. And it is so much more important to me to actually enjoy the books and get something out of them rather than just checking them off of a list. So I know that was pretty short and sweet, but that's all I got for this week. Hopefully I'll see you back next week where I'll talk about the books that I read this month. Peace.